Hello, I'm Chantel Miller and I'm here in Trinidad at Shakers, the premier cocktail bar on Arapita Avenue. I'm so happy to be here today as we're actually filming the third episode of our series, I Am. This time around, we're featuring anti-fashionista Mel Gabriel, founder of Trinidad Lookbook. Once again, Chantel Miller on the Avenue at Shakers in Trinidad. This is I Am.
My name is Mel Gabriel. I'm the editor of TrinidadLookbook.com. Trinidad Lookbook is an online fashion portal, essentially a space where we discover Caribbean fashion designers or artisans and tell people about it, as well as talk about fashion events and other things that are fun in fashion. I was actually living in London for a couple months. I noticed the reverence people had over there for personal style and for designers. And I'm a huge Sex and the City fan, so I wondered why we didn't have that same reverence for designers in the Caribbean or from the Caribbean. And when I came back home, I wanted to create something that would just instill that type of love and respect for our local designers. Executing the idea really boiled down to creating a website and sourcing content. It was really important to me that all the content be produced locally. We didn't want to pull images like stock photos or anything, so we went out and we did photo shoots with amazing photographers like Mark Gelino and Sancho Francisco, and we're working now with Marlon James out of Jamaica. So it was pretty simple, just needed a domain and people to write stuff. The lookbook started as a blog in terms of capturing personal style. So we would cover events, and instead of pulling horrible looking outfits to embarrass people, we would pull people who looked amazing and use them as a guide for those who needed, help. So based on that, it kind of created this launch pad where people thought, oh my God, there's this awesome thing, this blog that's talking about Caribbean fashion and talking about style and putting it in a context where people understand how to dress better for the climate and how to dress better for different events. And it kind of spiraled from there. We started doing more photo shoots, more local content in terms of interviewing designers and talking to models and talking to makeup artists. And the focus really kind of mushroomed onto young talent. So it was important that we capture makeup artists and the behind the scenes people who don't often get that credit. Okay, so we have a section called Discovery where we highlight different designers and photographers and basically industry players. So one thing we would do is tell people about Mailing's new collection. We would cover the shows, post it to Instagram or Twitter and Facebook. We would also focus on new photographers, young photographers who are doing amazing things, and they're often self-taught. So in this way, we give them an opportunity to showcase their talent and their work and still get them in the same time to capture Caribbean fashion. In doing that, everything kind of ties back because we use local models, young girls who are just trying to break through. Fresh faces are really important to me. I hate seeing the same people all the time. And then we use makeup artists who have not gotten that exposure through, bigger fashion shows or magazine spreads and, like Mako People or anything like that. And then by crediting all of them and creating a link to their work, we just lead generate all the time and send people back to their Facebook pages or their websites, and they increase their following like that. I've only just hosted our first fashion weekend. It's called Style Spirit Fashion Weekend. We did that in 2012. The response was fantastic. Style Spirit was different and unique in that it focused on young designers. We didn't use any veteran designers, and that was the aim. It was really about getting people to talk about who are these emerging talents in the Caribbean that aren't getting the shine they need, and we had this platform that was amazing and the buzz was crazy. And Rion Romani was one of the stars that came out of that show, and that was fantastic for him. He also had Lisa Sitai and Hakwai, which is always a great staple of designers. Like they're pretty young and not jaded, so they're so much fun and easy to work with. Style Spirit Fashion Weekend is in June 2014. Well, we have a Caribbean lookbook that's on the horizon, but it's not going to be the same format as the magazine. Caribbean lookbook is actually going to be a fashion directory. The aim is to basically aggregate all the Caribbean talent, designers, makeup artists, lifestyle service providers too, in one space online where Caribbean nationals or foreign nationals could access it. And if they're visiting the Caribbean or they want to find somebody from the Caribbean, they go to CaribbeanLookbook.com, they enter the search keys and they find a makeup artist or anybody. We attempted print. I think the thing with print in the Caribbean, or at least in Trinidad, is it's an interesting medium for people to accept. We don't read very much down here. We like pictures. Not to say that we're simple beings, but having a magazine, and especially a niche magazine like that focuses solely on fashion, has proven to be very difficult. And it's even more difficult when you try to maintain a certain frequency and the funding isn't there to sustain something like that, especially when people don't understand it or appreciate what it is. So what I've decided to do is go back to the digital roots of Lookbook and then create a once a year book that would be printed and would be more of a collector's edition type thing. Our first major fashion coverage was at Fashion Week in 2010, Fashion Week TNT. And that really catapulted the brand into, just a whole different hemisphere. Simply because we were offering live tweeting and live blogging and nobody else was doing that. So people automatically just went to the website and they went to our Twitter handle and started following from there. Because they knew it would be up to the time and real-time coverage of fashion shows. So that helped greatly. And then it was a matter of just maintaining that momentum. So it worked out in that people found our Twitter handle and it grew every day. And then they went to the Facebook page and everything just sort of linked, and now we're on Instagram and that's exploding. So it's all good stuff. In terms of a definitive Caribbean style, I'd hope not. I'd hope there wasn't one. Because that would kind of peg us down a little bit. I'd like to think we definitely appreciate, the breezy looks and, the shorts and all that. But we also appreciate things with structure and excellent construction. And we try always to infuse a little bit of sexiness in everything we do, which really helps. So you would see somebody like Mei Ling would create something with a beautiful structured neckline, but it would be a short dress, or a short A-line dress that still shows off great legs, and you have an amazing opportunity to still be sexy and feminine while still maintaining some sense of style. I would have to say there are two people that really stand out for me. They're both from Trinidad though. One would be Rasan Martin. She's a stylist, so I guess it comes naturally. But she's one of those stylists who really creates her own look. She is huge on prints, so she would go to a thrift store and she would find the most amazing prints and she would just pair them in a way that you wouldn't even think of. Like, she's very daring too, so I guess that helps. And the other person is Leah Marie Guevara, who I would call, Trinidad's supermodel. She's fantastic, she's elegant, she always looks flawless. And her personal style is down to a T, where you can't always predict it, but it always works. And you always know that she's gonna look a certain way, which is a good thing. It doesn't mean she's, mundane or anything. She's just always fabulous. Style advice from me, the anti-fashionista. I would say, and I guess it could be something that I've learned over the years too, because I've never been terribly experimental. I would say try to mix prints a little bit. And the way you could do that is you have one piece on top and then you focus on maybe just one color within that piece and find another piece that blends one of those colors. It's easy like that if you try to do, mix polka dots or something. That's a good way to kind of wean yourself into the whole style thing. Another thing would be, wear what you like and be yourself and be comfortable. I've been told that my style is don't care chic. So if that works for you, then fine, do it. It works for me. So just be comfortable and take as many risks as you're comfortable taking. Okay, so TrinidadLookbook.com is the baby, that's the homepage. From there, you could also look for us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/TrinidadLookbook. Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest handles are TDadLookbook. So it's pretty easy to find. We're also on Tumblr if you're into that thing too. I'm Mel Gabriel and I'm a Trinidadian.
Thank you.
Good.
How was that?
Good.
You were fantastic.
I wasn't cocky or nothing.
Lots of great information.
Yeah.
Thank you.